My name is Jim Lynch. I'm the Supply Category Manager at GTS Distribution. I want to welcome you to the call today with Ultimate Guard. As I mentioned, there's a ton to go over, and I do have some logistical housekeeping items to go over, just so everybody's familiar. If this is your first time calling in and you're not familiar with Zoom, you can interact live with the presenters by hovering over the screen. You'll see there's some controls that show up at the bottom of the screen. You can click on the chat window button and the chat window will appear on the right side. There you'll have the option to select either panelist, which is the group that will be presenting to you today, or you can select panelists and attendees, and that will be visible to everybody on the call. If you're watching the video on the YouTube channel, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel to make sure you are updated for future videos. And if you're a retailer and would like to be notified for future webinars, you can register to be notified using the link in the description. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce TC Payne. TC Payne will be heading off the presentation. TC, welcome, and the stage is all yours.
Sweet. Thank you so much, Jim. And thank you, GTS, for having us, as well as all the partners who are joining us today and will be watching later on. So I just want to start off by showcasing our team. It's grown a bit in the last year. Patrick Hildebrand, who's currently on this call as well, is our CEO. Richard Drakis, our marketing manager. TC is me. And then Melissa Meza is our trilingual customer service. Bridget Drakis is our logistics. And Trish with the pretty rad photo is our accountant. So before we really get into kind of a preview of our product and up and coming sneak peek of 2021, I want to talk about an overarching philosophy that has been and will continue to drive a lot of our goals. Some of you may know that we are a German-based company. We design our products in Germany. We opened an office here in Seattle, Washington in 2018, and it's our first office in the Americas. We also have a warehouse here, which is to better serve our distribution partners and you. And one of the big pushes that we have focused on is our displays and store merchandising. So what we want to first talk about is the supplies category in general. There's a lot of positive attributes that we think are very important to the health of the industry and the health of the retailer. The category as a whole is really add-on sales. So people often think of it as impulse items. You know, for instance, if you want to buy a board game, you might want to buy board game sleeves. Games are a pretty significant purchase these days, and you want to protect it. Supplies can be an add-on sale for that. Throw a $10 pack of sleeves or two onto a game, and now you're really driving an additional sale at the register. They're high margin. This category doesn't get cross-shopped a lot. We have yet to hear from retail partners that they get a lot of competitive pressure from online sales about discounts and things like that. It should be a high margin category. Obviously that goes for us, but we think that the whole category in general can be beneficial to the bottom line of a retailer. And we've seen it. And we'll share some of those data points here pretty soon. There's lots of different price points, from very accessible price points that drive impulse under $10 to high-end items. $60 deck boxes and $100+ backpacks are some of the items that we offer. We really run the full spectrum of price point for any type of supplies purchase. And again, this is something that can be a nice impulse item to drive both margin and increase the total at the register. As mentioned, it is an impulse component. Supplies might not be the goal for going into a store, but again, it certainly can be something to add on at the register and enhance the overall total. Visually exciting, we really pride ourselves on the visual appeal of our product. We do it with our packaging. We have bright colors, which can be merchandised well. They can look very nice together, which is a very important component for driving purchase. And it's critical to the bottom line. Again, we will share some of those data points later, but if you have a product that is driving both add-on sales and high margin, it can really help with store health. And another mass market category that has similar attributes, add-on sales, high margin, accessible price points, impulse components, visually exciting and critical to the bottom, would be candy bars. Stores like Target and Walmart know this, and this is why you see candy right up front. It's an add-on sell, well merchandised, and it's visually appealing. They've done the research, and there's a reason you see walls of candy at the register. With great merchandising, we really believe that we can do a lot of the same things with supplies. So, instead, this is what we commonly see, and this is not to discredit any of the great work that our retail partners do, but we understand supplies is often seen as a secondary. It can be kind of an afterthought, but we would really challenge this train of thought, and we will talk to that a bit later, but this is what we see. Supplies can be commonly mixed in, and difficult to find, and it's part of an underutilized packaging family. And what we mean by that is that we design our products to look great together and make a great overall appearance together. What we often see is a lot of products scattered throughout the store, sleeves in one place while deck boxes in another. So supplies is probably not top of mind for, this particular store. And again, we would probably say that that's really not too uncommon. We understand why, but we really believe that we can change that thinking. And we really think this would be for, everyone's benefit. Limited organization, limited visual appeal, and, no out of stock signals. This can be a pretty difficult category to manage potentially. There's a lot of SKUs. We have hundreds of items ourselves, and then add that with the competition, you have quite a massive list. When it's not merchandised correctly, then it's hard to tell what's selling well and what's not. A peg opens up or space opens up, and other items might migrate over, and before you know it, you have board games crowding out supplies. At one point I worked at Target, and this was common. You got to keep the spaces looking full in order to properly gauge out of stocks and keep things looking impactful. Otherwise, before you know it, you're out of stock on some of your best sellers, and you might not know it. Those visual cues truly are crucial for optimizing sales. Now, compare that with something that we are offering, which is the Ultimate Guard display. And the importance of merchandising can then be easily seen. We really believe that a display can drive a lot of sales. Consistent line, look, and feel can really be presented with a store display such as this. It's appealing to the eye, it's tidy, it's easy to find. It can be located in a spot in the store where a retailer can drive an additional sale or impulse purchase. Like we talked about, it can increase the total ring. Supplies really can do exactly what the candy category does. It can also educate the customer about the brand by easily showing them our vast offering. They may only know that we carry boulders, but this is an easy way for them to see that, oh wait, they also offer larger storage or more colors of these sleeves. It can even do some of the work of a salesperson. It can show them what's available without really needing to ask, as well as be a visual cue for out of stock merchandise. If a peg runs empty, a retailer will know it. And then that's an opportunity to contact GTS, which can really help simplify, your lives. So this is what it can look like in practice. This is, one of our partner stores, and this was one of the first stores to bring an Ultimate Guard display into their store over in Europe. This store is based in Munich. As you can see, this unit is placed near the front of the store and is kept clean and full. It creates a great visual, it drives impulse purchases, and we know it contributes to the health of the store, and we will show you that data here in just a moment. It just creates an overall, pleasing vibe for the customer. Easy to shop, easy to find. It's truly that, that candy section at the front of Target or Walmart.
Hey, TC, I'd just like to add to that too. Munich's a very expensive city. Real estate is at a premium. So for them to devote that much space to this section says quite a lot. In fact, this is the only gaming store, at least it was at the time, and I believe it still is, in the downtown Munich area, just because rent and retail space is at such a premium.
So we hit on a lot of points of what this can do for a store, and here's the data. We did a case study with the store shown on that last slide. because we wanted to understand, you know, the additional impact of what the display would mean for this retailer's business. You know, and we apologize for it being in German, but I can sum it up for you. The Ultimate Guard sales before and after grew by 80%. You might see that and, you know, think that, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The store had a lot of, you know, Ultimate Guard product that looked really good and was full and impactful. So I understand why sales bumped up. But then you might think, you know, but how did it take away from the rest of the category? And the interesting part really is that it didn't. The category revenue grew by 41%. If you look at the column with the 2 red circles, you'll see that most of the competitors didn't drop in sales. However, what Ultimate Guard did do is help grow the entire category sales by 41%. And net profit, again, because of the increase in all the brands, as well as what Ultimate Guard was able to do, their net profit grew by 51%, you know, which is pretty rad to see. So we really know this can work in practice. This was a controlled study of before and after, and we were really glad to see this result because, you know, our goal is not to take away from the competition. We really just want to lift the entire category with us, not just help ourselves, but help our distribution and retail partners. So that was a bit of a category overview and a peek at our guiding philosophy. And now I'm going to briefly just discuss all the display options we currently offer and the very simple process for you to get a hold of one. So at this point, we offer 4 distinct display types, and they can be seen before you right now. 1 display for Ultimate Guard and 3 displays dedicated to our newer brand, Okie Dice. All you should need to do is inquire upon the display and ask, and they'll, with the distributor, and the distributor will supply you with 2 forms, an application form and a fill list. So if you're interested in obtaining an Ultimate Guard display, you just need to go to GTS. Again, they'll provide you with the application form for the display and a fill list. The Ultimate Guard displays require 2,400 for the 1x1 core or 4,100 for the 1x2 grand in net purchases of Ultimate Guard product from GTS. You complete the application and place the order through GTS, and they will confirm with us. We then send a display out from our warehouse directly to you. For the Okie Dice countertop and floor display, the process is essentially the same. However, the Okie Dice countertop and floor display programs require 300 or 900 net purchases of Okie Dice product from GTS. And again, once the application is filled out, you just place the order with GTS and they send the application to us as confirmation, and we'll send the display out. And then lastly, we have the Okie Dice display bowls, which was made available this year in March. The only difference to this process from the ODD countertop and floor display is that instead of offering a fill list, we offer 5 distinct retail packs, which each offer a mix of loose die. In order to qualify for a dice bowl display, you just need to fill out the application and purchase 2 of any of the 5 types of retail packs listed on the slide before you. The price of the 2 retail packs runs from $44 to $75, depending on, you know, the combination of packs. So I'll hand it off to Richard, who will briefly talk to you about some of the exciting things we'll be doing for retailers who are a part of our display program.
Hey guys, I guess I better unmute. Hopefully you can hear me. So TC has been talking to you a little bit about our guiding philosophy of really trying to make some of the best products, making some of the best uniform, components so that everything sort of fits together, looks right, and obviously taking a look at the category itself, the supply category in its entirety, and trying to talk to retailers about merchandising of those, and that actually increases or lifts sales, not only of the product that is being displayed this way, it also lifts everything else. Obviously, the goal is to have everything, merchandise. We do happen to offer these lovely display units. So the display units are the basis of what we're entering into as the Premium Reseller Program. It is something new for us. This is just a tease. There was something, if you watch ICB2, there was a brief tease about that in conjunction with a new product that launched earlier, the Smarthive First Wave, and TC will talk about that a little bit. And if you are part of our newsletter, we tease that out as well. If you want to get in on the newsletter right now, I do not currently have a link on our website, but you can certainly check in with GTS and or our customer service, and you can ask to be enrolled in that, and we will certainly add you to the program, the newsletter program, that is. So the idea behind initially the Premium Reseller Program is that those retailers who've taken the time to an energy and effort and obviously financial obligation to put a unit like this in their store, whether it is the ODD display or it is the Ultimate Guard display, we have labeled you as a premium reseller. We actually had already been designating that on our website. We will continue to do so. So if if consumers go to our Ultimate Guard website or the ODD website, they'll see your store specifically called out and flagged as a premium reseller, which should indicate to that consumer that there's a broader possibility that there's broader product available at that store. There's usually a much deeper commitment to that product in that store, and that's something that's exciting. So we really want to drive the adoption of the supply displays going forward. So some of the things that we're going to do, why be part of this program other than we call you out on our website? Well, one of the neat things that we did so far was we allowed retail stores to have a first crack at the Smarthive. So we gave you guys not only a first SKU month sales ahead of time, we also gave a special SKU, and that SKU actually had the first wave stamped on the inside of that product. One of the other philosophies of the organization is kind of pop culture. That's kind of at the core of our, it is at the core of our philosophy as well, that our organization is built on pop culture at its roots. So chase is something that's kind of interesting to us, and you'll see us talk about that in a little bit. You'll see us talk about some of the unique products and some of the unique SKUs that we'll produce in some limited quantities and limited runs. We did that, of course, in 2020 with the exclusive line. So part of the way you're going to see us drive the reseller program is that we're going to give some special items to these retailers that, of course, are premium retailers. Think of it kind of like many other organizations have programs like this, from the Wizards Play Network on to, you know, all kinds of other organizations, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. So the idea is very similar in that we're going to give something cool, special, early, advance notice, advance items to these retailers, because we want to say thank you ultimately to the retailers that are supporting us. So this was our kind of, for this year and going forward, it's really us saying thank you to those retailers that do a great job of putting our product first and foremost in their stores, display it, merchandise it, and really is an opportunity for us to do some kind of neat SKUs that didn't exist in the market before. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about the program, but the nuts and bolts and the mechanics of it, but we're going to launch that broadly in the next month or so. So be watching for either our newsletter or at icb2.com. We'll certainly post out there what it is, the more specifics. But for now, if you are part of our display program, that absolutely will qualify you to be part of this, and you're going to get a better engagement with Ultimate Guard.
Sweet, thanks, Richard. So I just wanted to touch briefly upon some of the newest offerings to the Okie Dokie Dice line before I move on and provide a lot of focus on Ultimate Guard, which really does have quite a lot of up-and-coming releases. So here's a better look at the retail packs I mentioned earlier. The 5 options really provide a bulk loose dice choice for any type of genre player. And when paired with one of our new dice bowl displays, a retailer then has an incredibly compelling way to drive, you know, impulse purchases and add-on sales up at the register. As I mentioned, it only takes a purchase of 2 packs to qualify for a dice bowl display, which should make for an easy and appealing entry into the display program or into ODD as a whole. Besides the retail packs, the other newest entries into the brand were our D20 spin down, which are perfect for keeping track of life counters, our D6 12mm marble / Gemmy dice, positive and negative dice, which are great for Magic the Gathering or other games that require positive/negative tracking. And lastly, our D8 marble Goif die, which can be a great ally in keeping track of your Tarmogoyf's power and toughness. So when jumping into our brands, it can become a bit overwhelming. We offer such a wide array of items. One of the things that we sometimes hear from retailers who do not carry us is that their players do not have a lot of money. And this is the reason they do not carry high-end supplies. Now, most of the time we talk to these retailers, they actually do not know how vast our catalog is, and that we offer quite a few items that balance affordability and quality, very well. For these individuals and for any other store starting off with our brand, some of our first go-tos are our Boulder deck boxes, which are plastic deck cases with a soft touch finish, and they are nearly indestructible. You can literally stand on top of one and it will keep your deck safe and sound. It is modularly designed to fit perfectly into our larger storage, such as the Arkhive and Superhive, and soon the Smarthive 400 and Arkhive 800. And then our Sidewinder, which offers, an innovative access to both sides of your deck for easy deck removal, and is also designed perfectly to fit into, our larger storage like Superhive and Smarthive. Both boxes are our top sellers and provide very reasonable price points to start. So once a retailer has tried out, our boulders and sidewinders and they want to expand their offering beyond that, some other easy go-tos would be our larger deck cases and our Katana sleeves. Our Katana line is still fairly new as of early 2019. However, we are incredibly proud of their craftsmanship and how well they have been received. Tulare Community College gave them an A rating and said they are one of the best sleeves on the market. They are precision made in Japan and extremely durable for tournament gameplay. We will most certainly be, looking to expand this line in the future. For instance, we will be looking at doing standard Japanese size and, possibly new colors. And we'll have a bit more on that later. One of the areas we truly feel we have excelled in and forged our strongest following with is our entire deck box line. Beyond the boulders and sidewinders, we offer a large array of awesome solutions for storing and carrying large numbers of cards in multiple deck cases. Whether you have one deck or 5, we offer the perfect storage solution for the customer. Besides the boulder, our deck boxes are constructed with our signature Xenoskin anti-slip texture and continue to perform exceptionally well for our fans. So with the remainder of this year, we have some pretty big releases. One thing that, we've gotten a lot of feedback on from our fans is that, people want bigger storage. And so for our 2 new entries this year, we went bigger. The Smarthive 400, which, we would liken to our Superhive 550. However, it is more compact instead of having a spot to put a playmat, the cover detaches and becomes a playmat itself. In addition, there are 2 dice trays in a perfect spot for a 3x5 notepad. And then the Arkhive 800, which takes the original Arkhive featured earlier in this presentation and doubles up on the capacity with a second row of deck boxes and sleeves. We showed both of these items off at PAX Unplugged, and judging by the reception, bigger was most definitely the best way to go. The release of the Smarthive 400 Plus is set for a September 25th release, while the release of the Arkhive 800 will be November 13th. And Richard, once we get to the end of this presentation, Richard will try and, if technology is permitting, he'll try and show off, the Arkhive 800 for
I will show some physical visuals for everyone here, and maybe some ways in which you can stack the product inside. So the Smarthive 400 Plus for us both of these products actually were consumer asked for and retailer asked for products. So one of the cool things that you'll get from us is that when you do make comments, you say, hey, we could use this. This will work for our marketplace. We're going to take a look at the marketplace in general. We actually do respond to that, and we make things that we think that our consumers are going to need based on what the consumers are telling us. Smarthive, for me, one of the coolest things is that you can get 400 card decks in there, right? So you can get 4 easily and perfectly fitting 4 commander decks, which tends to be a very neat number for those who play commander. You can also very easily, and I'll show you later on, it perfectly stacks 2 of the Flip and Drape, the 80s, which of course our Pokemon players told us that that's what they use almost exclusively, right? Because at the top of that, they can carry their counters, which they need very desperately for power, you know, like showing that they can kill those monsters and the little Poke monsters. And of course, the product fits perfectly with the fact that they only have a 60 card deck, so they can have a little bit of spare space for some of their extra sleeves. So those are just some of the ways that we've heard players tell us that they do or want to use these SKUs.
Sweet. Thank you, Richard. And so here's our first foray into one of the benefits of being a premium reseller of Ultimate Guard. And Richard will expand a bit more on this limited edition box.
Yeah, so we like to show things that some people can't get. I'm wondering, I'll show it later off. I'll show a Planeswalker box that you can't get here in this market, just because I like to tease people. So the first wave program is also something that we will be solidifying going forward. This was kind of a test run for us to see what the desire and what the like was behind, again, the pop culture sort of mentality that we have. So the goal was to put something unique on this item and then also to deliver it to the marketplace early, which of course we used to kickstart our Premium Reseller Program. We'll do that again later on, and all throughout 2021, you'll see us do this kind of stuff. So you won't see exactly a first wave on some of the products that you just saw on that slide. So the Arkhive 800 won't have that, but going forward, some of our bigger box units, some of our top selling units, we're going to do something special, and we'll tag in that first wave. So again, you're going to get product early, a month early. And how do you get that product early? Well, obviously you got to be part of our Premium Reseller Program. So those things will go hand in hand. So one of the things that we're not going to do, that we're not going to stamp this on sleeves, for example, but you might see us do something interesting with our smaller SKUs. Sleeves, you might see us do a unique SKU for a brief period of time. Again, using that limited chase sort of mentality, and then sort of getting players, the consumer, the retailer used to the idea that there might be something short term that you better jump on really quickly, and it should be cool. It'll be a driver of sales. We've seen that with everything that we've ever done unique. They've all driven sales, and they haven't taken away sales of any of the other units that we're selling. In fact, those also get a bump. So you'll see us continue to delve into this first wave program. And again, we'll make that more of a broad public announcement on ICB2 and through our newsletter.
So as I mentioned earlier, Katana has, proven to be incredibly successful for the time that it has been out. And we will be looking to expand our current offering with new versions and colors in the coming years, starting with the release of our new Japanese size Katana line, which will be launched with 5 colors on November 27th of this year. These cards will come with, the same unmatched clarity and durability you've come to know with our standard size Katana sleeves, and will also be produced in Japan, which is pretty rad. We're pretty excited for these. And then coming in 2021, we'll be looking to probably produce new and additional colors. So keep your eye out for that. And so Richard's gonna give you a little sneak peek at what we'll be doing, what we'll be doing in 2021, starting with.
Oh, I guess no, I'm not sharing yet. Oh, now they see my face. Hide my physical.
You're revealed.
No, stop it. All right. So some of the cool things we've talked about, we had said that we'll do something unique, something interesting. TC, you popped away. I think.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, because I think you gave the presentation away. So go ahead and keep the presentation up. We'll do that, I think, when we share the product.
Is it back? I mean,
You're back.
Cool.
At least on my screen. So I don't know if everybody else felt the same. So we're going to do something kind of interesting here. We've had players talk to us about a specific. Not only were they talking to us about the Japanese sized sleeves, right? So because of course the product for a couple of games, one of them large in particular, has a slightly different size unit, right? So the thought here is that we would do a Sidewinder that is also of that size. So it is more specific and more unique to the Japanese size cards. We would do a limited print run to kind of test it. We might do some fun coloring. Oh, it's all Scott Bohr's fault. I will blame him then. That is awesome. Thanks for taking the hit, Scott. So you'll see us do, again, like we said, we're going to do some chase items, something unique, something fun. You'll see us put this out in early next year because, again, we had players asking for something like this. So we'll move on to the next. You might see us do some more stuff with the Japanese size product. Magnetic card cases. And I'll let TC maybe kind of give a little bit more on that. For those of you who are sports stores, and some of you who are not sports stores, also you'll see players using, these hard cases for their single cards. But of course, with sports, you've got multiple different size points. Will range from 35 point to 360 point. Jim has actually seen these, and some of the GTS folks have actually taken a look at these. So they're really cool, guys. I mean, I was actually pretty impressed with this product, and I'm really excited that we'll be putting that out. Right now, sports are on fire. So for those of you who are, who do carry sports in their lineup at their store, or if that's the entirety of your makeup, then this will be a great product for you guys. And of course, everybody else.
Yeah, and kind of like as Richard mentioned, we know the demand is there, and so we might be looking to try and release some of these offerings that you see before you earlier, but that's tentative. We'll also probably be looking to do top loaders at some point as well in 2021, but this is really what we'll probably first launch with.
Oh, guys, sorry, TC, I heard there's a solicitation process for that. So typically you guys are going to see solicitations. There is a standardized process. You should see solicitations roughly 60 days before a launch comes out. So that's kind of a general commitment. We've given you a date for this product, so we have a launch for the Japanese Katana. So those will be, and so you also saw the Arkhive 800 that's coming out later this year as well. So in the next few weeks, you're actually going to see those solicitations coming out from us. So the hopefully soon is accurate. Yeah. Sorry, TC.
And these will carry the same durability and quality that you've really come to know from the rest of our product. So we're excited for this.
One note on this, I know it seems kind of like a minor detail, but really cool about this product, the packaging contains a visual size guide. So it actually has a stripe with the entire family of sizes, and the one that is presented is highlighted. So it's a really nice visual cue to help consumers understand which thickness they're purchasing with these card cases.
Right, that's a good point. That's kind of a neat little feature.
Cool. I'll hand it off to Richard.
Oh, it's coming back to me again, the baton. All right, so Q2 next year, he did allude to some other products that might be coming out. So you might be familiar with our UX line. We're moving out of the UX line of sleeves. So for right now, these have an internal name, and we'll give you the external name. It is the not UX sleeves. And they're not at all. So one of the neat things, we actually got some sample package of these not that long ago in the office, and we thought it was for something else. We thought it was for another project that we were working on, because these were absolutely Katana sleeves. So we were absolutely wrong. They weren't Katana sleeves, and if you played and fumbled them around with your hands a little bit and shuffled them, you could tell they weren't quite. They didn't feel the same, but they had an amazing stretch. The test, I don't even know why it's the test these days, but I guess everyone, you put your hands in the card and you see how far it'll stretch before you rip it apart. As a player, I have never done that ever in a game, but apparently that has become the strength test of cards, and these performed amazingly. We were really shocked. So we've been playing around with this, as an organization for a new sleeve that we want to come out at the, affordability marketplace. And we wanted to, again, have, really high standard quality. And as you guys had alluded to earlier, they're going to have 2 points. They're going to have a 60 card count, which will be for, again, a nod to the Japanese card count sizes. So those will be $4.99 as a price point for those. Again, I think those are pretty spot on, pretty solid SKU points, sorry. And given the quality, I think these are going to be excellent. And the standard size, of course, for more geared towards your Magic player and the rest of the TCG lines is going to be a $7.99 for a 100 count.
Yeah, so the positioning here, just a little bit more than that. These are Chinese produced instead of Japanese, just to give you some compare and contrast with Katana. You know, if as anyone knows with any hobby, you know, once you get into incremental advancements and improvements in a product, you pay a lot more for those at the top end. So, you know, Japanese are going to be, our Japanese sleeves, the Katana sleeves are the best of the best for the people that want the best sleeves on the market, the best quality, the best shuffle feel. That's where you go. If you want a very high percentage of all of those attributes, but just not the last few points and at a pretty significant savings, this is a great way to go. You're going to save some money. They're very durable. They have a good shuffle feel. They're really great quality sleeves at a very attractive price point. So again, they're not going to go the last few percentage points all the way that Katana sleeves do. They're not meant to. But for those people, you know, I'm into photography, and you can pay $10,000 for a camera lens for, you know, 5% extra of improvement in your photographs. If you want 95% of that quality, you can do it with a $500 lens. It's kind of the same deal here, right? So you're going to get a lot of the advantages that our players have come to love in Katana, just not quite all the way, but at a significant savings. Really great product. Excited to get them out there. They should be a nice go-to for people that don't want to go all the way to the premium level product, but still have a good quality sleeve.
Yeah, the Katana sleeve absolutely is going to last round after round after round Pro Tour play, for example. So for sure, you're right. Absolutely correct, Brad. Good point. They are different. Their quality is not the same, but they're excellent. They're good cards, good product. I'm excited to see those come out.
So as we will be continuing to pair limited edition product with our premium reseller program, you know, we will also continue to produce exclusive product tied to, you know, years, seasons, events, and partners. And this is something we have only just recently been tipping our toes into, you know, as you may have noticed with the 2020 exclusives. As of the end of last year, we showcased our 2020 exclusives at PAX Unplugged and, you know, received an overwhelmingly positive response, selling out of, you know, almost all of our print run for the show. You know, and in addition, the response to the actual release of the 2020 exclusives this year exceeded our expectation. And we had to run back to the factory for a reprint run. What was really supposed to last us a year only lasted us 3 months. As you can see, our 2020 exclusive line is a black and red version of some of our, you know, most popular offerings. And we will be releasing a 2021 line in similar fashion. Some of our most popular offerings, such as SIDEWINDER, Boulder, and then maybe a Smarthive or Arkhive 800, but in a different color variation, which, you know, will only be offered for the year or event.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'll hand it off again to Richard, who will talk to
Yeah,
you.
and then after this, after you show the little piece there, I think we'll do a little bit of show and tell on some of the products we just walked through.
Perfect. Yeah.
Fair
I'll stop sharing my screen after the teaser.
No, yeah. Go ahead after this and then the next slide. So we've only teased this to the marketplace, guys. We've given a little bit more information to our distribution partners. Certainly, as we keep them a little bit closer, you know, to the cuff. We do want to make sure that we're giving something more out to the community as we tease these products. So there will be a Q2 launch for 2021. I'm gonna have to say that. I'm gonna mouthful. I just got used to saying 2020, but that year's almost over now. So Return to Earth really, again, gets into the root of the philosophy of our organization. The company is very, very focused on the health of the planet in general, and they do a tremendous amount of things to support that. In fact, one of the things that they were working on in the before everything kind of went haywire this year, and have sort of, we've still actually produced. We have 1 out of the 3 facilities that we're going to be building. We have a new campus in Germany, and that campus is actually a production facility for starters, which is where we will be producing the Return to Earth product. So we'll actually be producing that on our own. The facility itself will be almost entirely solar powered. It will have almost a zero. In fact, I believe it has a 0 carbon footprint, which is something that's very important to the organization. So going forward, you're gonna see some really kind of neat things from us. And this is kind of down to really one of the core components and one of the tenets and beliefs of our organization. So the product that you will get more of a show in the next few months will be a mainly renewable product, and it is going to be a line. So this is under the Ultimate Guard line, guys. So this is the Ultimate Guard brand. Think of Return to Earth like Katana, if you will. So it is a brand within a brand. And Return to Earth will begin with a singular product, but it will expand to other products at that point in time. One of the things that we're doing with that money, every customer of ours is essentially supporting these initiatives, and then we're going to be giving 1%. Actually, the organization is 1% for the planet. We will be giving 1% of the proceeds that we have, all sales, to this entity, which is really supporting healthy, planet maintenance. And then we're going to be planting 10 trees a day. So there's an organization that does tree planting. And as we know, trees are actually one of the best ways that we can combat global warming gases. So we ourselves are going to be planting 10 trees a day to start. And as the Return to Earth line grows, our commitment to do this, which we've committed to do forever, as long as the company exists, will then increase. So our hope is, of course, to get to, multiples of hundreds of trees a day that we ourselves are responsible for planting. So I'm very proud of this process. I'm really proud of this as a thing that we're doing as an entity. And I'm really excited, and the product itself is going to be pretty dang awesome. So I think you guys will be excited to see it when it comes out. And there's a little short video here I think TC is going to show for you.
Sweet, thanks, Richard. Yeah, on the next slide, we're going to just preview a small teaser, and it's definitely a teaser, not a trailer, but if you haven't seen it, we'll show it to you, and then afterwards I'll stop sharing my screen and hand it off to Richard to showcase our Arkhive 800 for you.
And then we'll try and do some Q&A for the last short bit.
Either of you guys want to sing a little tune in the background?
I was just going to say, it's a really cute little tune, and I'm like, it's not coming through. I wouldn't do
Was it not coming through?
No. He's jamming out to it over there.
I was tearing up over here, and I guess no one else was. Okay, cool. Well, that's unfortunate, but I'll stop sharing and let Richard showcase our Arkhive 800.
Imagine your favorite song in the background.
Something inspirational.
Right.
Inspiring. I'm not going to be doing any sharing of my screen. Hopefully you guys can see me. If that's true, I did my job right. If not, I did something wrong.
Hey, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Does this actually turn when I turn it? Because it looks like it's just looking at me the whole time. You know what? I think I'm using the wrong the video. Stupid computer. All right. So in that case, you're going to see all the cool guitars in the background. I am going to show you something. Yeah, I know somebody mentioned of this. You can't get this here in the US. It's all about Chase. So I'm here to just tease you guys, I think, right? So there is the Smarthive. Okay, I could take off the product, but I put inside another piece that most of you didn't see and didn't get. Why? Because again, I'm teasing you. But just really to display the idea behind Chase. This was a PAX exclusive we did. Price isn't our thing. I'm not going to talk about where it went to on the secondary market, but it kind of went crazy, and that really sort of shocked us. It shouldn't have. We produced limited quantities of it. People gobbled it up at PAX. So that really kind of hit the idea for us that, you know what, we got to do more of the chase items, and we have to have a plan for how we produce those, and we want to give it to our retailers that support us. So you'll see more of that. So in this, you see the boulders, and then you've got these two here, and then the perfect slot in the middle for the 3x5 note card, and then you've got slots for your dice. Dump that out unceremoniously because it's my stuff, and I'm not as excited about it, but there we go. There's your Pokemon display right there. So those are your those are your flipping trays. Those are your 80s. And it closes nicely. I'll do a little professor here. And after really hard shaking, I toss them out. Pretty solid. Then the next item, because we don't have the cool solicitation graphics for you yet, pretty simple and easy, right? This is the Arkhive 800. So it is really just essentially a doubling of the Arkhive, if you will. Right now, what I have inside are 10 of the Boulder 80s. So it fits 10 Boulder 80 pluses, it fits 8 Boulder 100 pluses. This is definitely designed for the boulders. So you're not gonna fit the SIDEWINDER in here, okay? That's not what the purpose of it is definitely to have maximizing your deck storage. We heard loud and clear from consumers that they want more, they want bigger storage solutions. And the size on this, the length on it, you know, just to give it perspective, there's the Smarthive, there's the Arkhive, and then I even have, just showing you all of my cool stuff, there's, you know, the Superhive. So I'll give you just an idea of the product size. And there you go. There's my lovely Vanna moment, for those of you who are old enough to know who Vanna is.
Yeah, I'll answer the question now since we were talking about the Smarthive. No plans to release the Planeswalker version. I saw that in the question section for the US. You know, certainly it would be great if we could at some point, but there are no plans to do that. That is an EMEA exclusive. Europe, Middle East, Africa is where our license exists. So no plans for North America at this time.
And then Patrick, did you want to circle back on the wording on the contract for the displays?
Yeah, so that, you know, that original agreement that I think was referenced in the Q&A section goes back to, I think, 2017, Jim, sound about right? That is not the case anymore. So there's a simple one-page terms and conditions about intellectual property rights and proper use of the display that you're going to agree to. Again, it's free of charge. We send it to you, but we have no intention of taking those back. We don't loan them; they're yours. So you do agree to use them in the way that they're intended, but beyond that. No, it is not the same agreement. We built a special agreement for North America about a year later, give or take. My timing may not be exact.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
year and a half maybe.
It is.
Patrick, is that fair to say then that the idea, the intended use, of course, is really intended for Ultimate Guard products?
Put our stuff in there. Yeah.
Not throwing don't throw some D&D books on it.
Right. Yeah, keep it full. Put our stuff on there. Keep it looking good. That's, I mean, pretty basic stuff. Again, it's a pretty simple one-page agreement that GTS can provide you guys with to take a look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the chat, we have a resource tab on our website that has a drop down that pulls up all this Ultimate Guard display information, and the applications are accessible there. So you can download that, get those to your GTS sales rep. There's a processing format that we follow to get that information back to Ultimate Guard, and then we can ship those out, and they are available in the 2 different sizes. There's a 1 section and then there's a 2 section version that you can choose from. So yeah, those are available on the website, or you can just reach out to your GTS sales rep, and he or she can get you that information.
Yeah. Really sturdy, good size. It's basically a 3-foot merchandising section, 6 feet high. I'll mention that again because that was also in the question section. I believe they're about 8 inches deep, give or take. So
we have the
fair bit of product.
I'm sorry, Patrick. We have the dimensions listed on the resource tab on the website as well.
Perfect. Great.
And then I did want to mention, we are still taking orders for the Smarthive 400 that releases on September 25th. So you haven't got a chance to get those orders in yet, please reach out to your sales rep, or you can order off the website. And then also, TC didn't mention it, but with the exclusive 2020 line that is out currently, and you guys can correct me if I'm mistaken, but the production on that has stopped. So what product is in the marketplace currently that is still available for order is available now. So if that's an item that you want to stock up on, now would be the best time to do that, because obviously there's going to be a point where we can't get that product any longer. So that product is available. We are still ordering. I believe there are some products that are still available direct that we're continuing to order, but there will come a point in time where that will be not the case anymore, and that product won't be available any longer.
New question on the displays. Yes, they can be placed back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Side by side or back to back.
And
correct me if I'm wrong, aren't there instructions in there to do so on the like as you're building them?
There are.
On the older application, yes.
Ah, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, they were designed to be modular. They can go side to side. They can go back to back. You know, even some of the images that we even had 4 displays, all kind of in a nice center island. So there's quite a few possibilities. They're weighted nicely on the bottom. They're sturdy. You know, again, this is the legal disclaimer portion of the presentation where I advise you to consult all applicable regulations for retail safety. But yeah,
and then
they're pretty nice pieces of furniture.
And then I'll also mention, just not to spill the beans, but the display availability is getting low as well. And that may just be a temporary thing, but there aren't a lot of those available right now. We do have some physically in our St. Louis, Missouri warehouse that we can ship out. Ultimate Guard has some in their Washington State warehouse as well. But with that said, both of us are getting low right now, and there could be a turnover time there before they become available again.
Yeah, and that was a good time if you want them before holiday. I mean,
yep.
There you go.
These next 30 days or so are a really good time to address stuff like that.
Yes, we have seen a run on them the last 3-4 months. I think retailer store owners have a little bit more time in their stores, maybe to organize or reorganize and clean up some space where they're able to make some room for that. So we have seen a little run here in the last couple 3 months.
Yeah, well, that part of that will be we did some brief campaigns regarding that. Again, messaging out what we're trying to accomplish, what we wanted to do, and we've seen that across the board through Canada. Same thing, U.S. Our Latin American retailers have actually come and asked us about these. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it existed. This is cool. How do I get a hold of it? So of course, then we connect them back up with their distribution partners. So that might be why there's been a little bit of a run. We've definitely been promoting it, and again, because the Premium Reseller Program was on our minds throughout this year, and it was really something we want to focus on. And now we're starting to get to the give back portion of that. So next year, you guys are going to see some cool stuff for being participants in our program.
Perfect. Any other questions out there before we hit our time limit here? Nope, I don't see anything. Anything else on the Ultimate Guard side? Anything last minutes we should know?
Kind of to your point, Jim, you were talking about the 2020 exclusives. We do have decent availability of the Boulder Sidewinders and Ammonite Backpack, but we are very, very low, almost out of the 2020 exclusive Super Hut, just to keep that in your mind.
Right.
Perfect. And then how's both the backpack TC, both the exclusive and the regular one? Are those still available?
Yeah, we have healthy quantities of both.
I mean, I would think they're going to go in the next few months. When we say healthy, I mean, I don't. This is not something we're going to carry deep into next year. I think by holiday we're probably going to be completely out of everything, if not sooner. Question on the Katana sleeves. Anyone, TC or Richard, either of you have Katana sleeves handy?
I do not, unfortunately.
There's a question about the finish. I would say they're semi-matte. I mean, they're not particularly.
They're opaque.
Yeah, but I think the texture is the question. I mean, they're.
On it. I don't know. I can't remember if I used it or not.
I can check.
Yeah, they're matte-ish. It's kind of hard to explain, but if either of you guys have a pack, we can maybe show them. If not,
It's so weird. I have like hundreds.
probably our website would be the best place to take a look.
Yep.
Website. I have hundreds of them somewhere, but for some reason.
And there's lots of videos about the Katana sleeves. Tolarian College, for example, has reviewed them. That's where that A rating came from, and that might give you a good idea of shuffle and finish as well.
Yeah.
We have regularly heard that they are the best shuffling sleeves that players have ever played with. That's unsolicited feedback that we get quite a bit.
True.
And I believe, TC, don't we have a release next Friday? Is it the 2-pocket portfolios?
This Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And was it just that, or was there something else? I should know this,
Boulders,
but
The
right?
boulders.
Boulders.
So the four.
the smaller boulders. Yes.
Correct. Yep. So the boulder
Yes.
40 and the boulder 60. So for everyone who's not familiar with that, obviously smaller boulders, they're geared towards some of the other games that do exist in the marketplace that consumers had asked us for specific sizes for those. So the 40s, great for those games that have the 35 cards. The 60 actually, I've been told, does fairly well for those who are Pokemon players, since there's no sideboard with those decks. So yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Boulder
Yep.
6040 this Friday, as well as we have a new offering for our board game sleeves. It's a small square board game sleeve. And then the 2-pocket Flix Folios are next week, next Friday.
That's correct.
So yeah, those hopefully will be hitting the GTS warehouses, if they haven't already, soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you need to order those, get your orders in, reach out to your GTS distribution sales rep. Okay, we are towards the end. Just to remind everybody, if you're watching this video on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe to the
Jim.
channel.
I'll
Yeah.
hit one last Q&A from Becky. It looks like feedback about not being able to see through the packaging on Katana. It's good feedback. We've taken some extra care. We reworked the color blob at the top to make sure it matched the sleeves on the most current print runs of Katana. But fair piece of feedback, being able to see the color of the sleeve through a hole in the package. That is not something that we currently do on Katana, but good question.
Yeah, I didn't even see that question, so my apologies.
Yeah,
Yeah, no worries.
Becky, I think, said that. Yeah, good question.
Wait a minute, there it is. Oh, she's just responding. Okay, everybody, we appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate and thank the group from Ultimate Guard, and keep an eye open for both new releases that we're expecting soon, and also those new solicitations that TC went over and Richard went over today. We'll hopefully be seeing that stuff soon, and we'll get it out to you as fast as we can. So with that, everybody, thank you. Have a great week and a great holiday.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here with us.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you, everyone.